Not yet. Okay, now we're on.
All right, we're on now.
This has to be the right.
This has to be the right one. Welcome to Lunch with Linda. I'm Linda Daniels, and you are now inside Northampton Wools. Is this our third or fourth time starting today? I don't know, but we did get a couple of comments that people could hear us. And since this is again a fresh new start, let us know so that we can continue. Because I got a lot to share with you today, and I want to make sure that you don't miss a thing. So if you can hear me, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, try to let us know by a simple yes. That's all we need.
Yay! Terry can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, here we go.
Whew.
It is a very rainy first Monday in May 5th. And here in Massachusetts, it's pouring all morning. And I feel really badly for all of you gardening people out there, because I know you're dying to be out in the garden planting and growing and weeding. And if you are that passionate about it, you might even be out there anyway. But it's no fun to be, as far as I'm concerned, to be out there in the rain and in the mud. I, however, took the dog out very quickly this morning, and when I rounded the corner in the backyard, came across my bleeding heart plants. And we put in, I think, just 2 of these a couple of years ago, and they have turned into bushes, and they're spreading. So I actually cut or snipped these from a shoot that was coming up between the stairs of the deck, and I figured I might as well cut them because my dear husband will probably come along and rip them out, because you can't walk up the stairs without them. So I snipped these, and I see I just broke this, but they're such a beautiful little flower, and they are gigantic bushes. So I cut them. That's the extent of my gardening for the week, and I'm happy. So I hope you get out there and find something growing near you that you can love as well. The pouring rain, I don't know if any of you actually attended the Maryland Sheep and Wool Fair Festival that was this past weekend, or follow it on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, because they were a complete washout. And I really feel badly for the vendors there. It was puddles and puddles and puddles of water that people then had to both shop and try to sell. And I know I wouldn't want to be standing in a puddle while I'm trying to run electronics for any reason, even my phone. And I know a couple of vendors left early because the weather was just so dangerously bad. So that's too bad. If you did get down there, I hope you were able to at least visit with somebody and had a good time. But I think in general, the weather has really been not conducive to being out at some kind of festival. And that means that there's plenty of time to be inside, both knitting and crocheting. Of course, you knew I was going to get to that. Mm-hmm. And I have been doing a lot of it. I have done several things that I want to show you. First of all, this shawl that I have on is one of those simple striped, wide striped shawls in a crescent shape. It's nice and warm because it is a fingering weight machine washable wool, but there's just enough swoop in this so that it stays very comfortably. The blouse that I have on is really slippery, so you're going to see it falling off all the time. But the other thing, I had it around my neck this morning, in typical long shawl fashion. That's like cool. This. It is pretty cool, all these short rows. And I was moving around a lot to try to get things ready for today, and my neck was so sore. I just can't tolerate that weight. Mm-hmm. And not that it's really heavy, but it just was too much. So I have to wear it wrapped around my back the other way. I just want to make sure I have it right side out. And again, these were probably leftover, one skein left of certain colors, but they did go together beautifully, really, really beautifully. So one thing that I want to mention really quickly was also something that I talked about in the email that I sent yesterday. Kate, if you've been in the store, you know that we've been working really hard to move things around, clean things up, and reorganize. And in a continuing effort to do that, Kate looked at the website and thought that clicking something would make our ordering process a little more efficient and smooth. And unfortunately, it did the opposite and sent out ready for pickup notices to everybody who ever ordered anything online and wanted to pick it up. So if you were one of the lucky people to get that email, we just want to tell you we're sorry and go ahead and delete it. Doesn't mean anything. We think we've turned it off.
No, it is turned off.
It is definitely turned off, so it shouldn't be happening again. It was one of those things that Kate thought, well, let's try this. And a surprise, it didn't really do what we thought it would do. So it's no big deal. You can just, like I said, delete them and ignore them because everything has already been picked up, almost everything. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is our rewards program. We had, of course, a very busy Friday and Saturday here in the store, and I think 3 times we had customers who completed a sale and had their $10 reward available to them. And they were able to use it on their purchase that day. And it set up a little bit of excitement in the store because there were customers who either were not part of the rewards program or didn't really realize how it worked. So our rewards program is in the POS system. And every time you purchase something under your identity, your name, you accumulate points. Basically, you get a point for every dollar that you spend. When you reach 500 points, you earn a $10 gift certificate. So we had somebody who ended up buying $30 worth of needles and was able to use her rewards for that purchase, and so it was only $20. If you know that you are in our rewards program, basically we take your first name, your last name, and your email. Then whenever you make a purchase, please make sure you say, I am in your records. Please put this on my record, or I want to earn the points for this. And that just makes the whole process a little bit easier for us because we can start to type in either your name or your email. If you are not in our rewards program and want to be, which happened to like 4 people that were standing around when they saw somebody get their reward, all you have to do is say, we want to be in the reward program. We try to remember to ask every time somebody makes a purchase, but not all of us are 100% good at that. And we will add you right away, and you'll start to accumulate points right on that very first purchase. We want to give you points for the classes that you take. However, that's one little stumbling block in the POS system. So what we will do is when you sign up for a class and pay for it online, when you come in that day for the class, we will give you the points that you've earned for that class that day. So if the class is $45 and you pay for it, when you come in for that class, we'll give you 45 points. And you're well on your way. Yay. So those are the 2 business things. They never expire. You don't need to do anything because it's all in the system and we keep track of it all.
The only thing you have to do is tell us.
The only thing you have to do is make sure you give us your name when you check out so that we can put it in your record. Okay, now to the good stuff. We put a post up. Mother's Day is coming up soon on Sunday, and there are several little bundles that we put together that we thought were really cute and make the perfect little Mother's Day gift, or sometimes you have to treat yourself if you're a mother, and we're here to help you do that. The first little bundle that we did was the Emma Ball bundle. So we already have sold some of these online. We have enough to do 8 more. So we have this really cute paper bag, and in it, the bundle is basically one of the small Emma Ball, I guess you would call this coin purse size, and then an Emma Ball tin. This one is the group of women, and inside is a collection of sock stitch markers. Right like that. So cute. And these are the little lobster claws. No, these are the real stitch markers. I'll show you the lobster claws in a minute.
Oh, Maureen's watching from North Carolina, and it's rainy there too.
Hi. And then also one of the Emma Ball sheep tape measures. So we have not just bundled it, but we've put it on the website just like this. So you can purchase the whole kit and caboodle, and you can either pick it up or we'll mail it out to you. And then the next bundle that we did are these. The coastal cotton is 100% cotton that we've had for a while in stock, and it now comes in these splash colors called Ocean Mist, and these are really, really fun multicolors, and there are more than this, but we had so much, we just brought up a few. I knit a washcloth out of this color. This is called Coogee Bay because it's coastal, and I used a free pattern from Universal. It's called the Seedling washcloth. You probably can't see the white one very well, but the green one is showing up, and I knit it up on Saturday, and really fast, really, really cute, and really fun, and so soft. That cotton knits up beautifully, and it's softened so much. I haven't washed this, but it is much softer than what you might feel in the skein. This is the skein that I use, so there's plenty in here to probably make maybe even 2 more of these really fun washcloths. And we paired those yarns with the pattern and with a bar of the soap from Van Goat. Liz has made soap for us from her goat's milk. We have unscented if you are aroma sensitive at all. But then she also makes lemon poppy seed with poppy seeds right in it. You can see them right in the soap. And we have honey almond. The sticker with the name on it isn't always in the right direction as the sticker on the front. And that's another unscented one. But Kate has listed the scents that we have available in the store, so we can bundle it that way when you come in or online. I pulled this one out too. This is not that cotton. This is a different cotton that we don't have any longer. But this is that very traditional, I think it's called the granny washcloth, that basically is knit from one corner to the other, increasing and then decreasing in garter stitch. So it's a fun, simple beginner project or a very quick little something. It makes a great little gift. I also really love it for shower gifts. You know, if you're giving a shower and you want to present everybody with a little takeaway. I did that for one of my nieces when she had her wedding shower. We knit up about, I think there were about 20 people there. We knit up 20 washcloths and gave them each one with soap. And then the other little bundle that we did is brand new yarn. This is called Echo Bag. This is for the crocheters out there. This is 100% cotton. There are 10 colors in each skein. And believe it or not, there are 4 or 5. I think there might actually be 6 different colors of this yarn. And when you purchase it, you will get one baggie that has both beads and a little hand knit wooden tag, or hand crocheted, handmade actually, a handmade tag to sew on your bag. This is a crochet pattern. But then there are other patterns for bags in different shapes that have both crocheted or knit designs. And both of those are on one pattern. So you can crochet the bag, you can knit the bag. And it's designed specifically for bags. It is a heavy duty cotton, and you can see and feel that as soon as you pick it up. When I picked the box up that this yarn was in, I almost fell over. I was so surprised by how heavy the whole thing was. But basically, it takes 4 skeins to make that big bag, and that is a decent sized bag. So up to 4 skeins, you get the tags and the beads, and you get a free pattern. And that makes a really great Mother's Day gift as well. And we've sold a couple of those online already. So just to kind of help you, give you some cute little ideas for what to do for Mother's Day, or what you might do to get yourself through the raininess of this next week. The Emma Ball stitch markers also come singly, not in the tin. So they do have stitch markers that are socks. And I think I also pulled out hats.
I love how they have the little designs.
And the llamas, or the alpacas. Oh no, the sheep. I pulled out the sheep. And it's the alpacas that have the lobster claw. So these markers are great for crochet. Anything that has a hook on it like that little thing that you open, and then it attaches right to your work.
Cool.
So we've got all of that stuff available as well. And wait, there's even more. Those of you who are familiar with local yarn store day know that Casa Pinka from Rhode Island usually did a local yarn store day pattern that when you came to the store and purchased the yarn for that pattern, you would get a code to download the pattern on Ravelry free. And she didn't do one this year for local yarn store day. And her thinking was that she would let other designers sort of have a chance at that kind of thing, because her designs were for local yarn store day were really, really successful. There were thousands of people that bought the yarn and got the downloads for it. But she did still do a pattern that came out, I think, the day or two after local yarn store day. She calls it the Fight EB scarf. There's a picture of it on, and there's a picture of it done. And I love, it's in the Sophie scarf kind of family, and I love that. And I was planning my wardrobe for the upcoming trips, and one of the things that I really like to be able to do is to have a little something around my neck when I wear an open shirt or a neck or a shirt like this. And this is just enough. This is about a little less than 200 yards of a fingering weight yarn. So if you bought a 100-gram fingering weight skein, you have enough to probably make 2. And I have to say, number 1, Casa Pinka is one of the world's best pattern writers. It is amazingly well done. Maybe not amazingly. It's really well done. And it's interesting to knit because there's a little bit of pattern, but she really breaks it up into sections. And then she also gives you a little help with keeping track of how many times you've completed the repeats, how many times you have to do row 1 and 2, how many times you have to do row 3 and 4. I knit this one relatively quickly. It was only a few hours of work over 2 days. And there are sections in this. So this is the garter and stocking net stitch section. Garter stitch, knit every row. Stocking net stitch, knit a row, purl a row. Then there is this little lace repeat, very simple, easy lace. If you've never even done lace, you could do this one.
This one.
And then there's one tiny little fun, out of the ordinary cable stitch right down at the bottom. Can you see that little peacock thing? That's probably the hardest stitch because you have to knit 3 together. and one of those three is a yarn over in the middle. So that is a little hard to sometimes get into. But I'm absolutely thrilled with this and started a second one, which I'm going to show you in a second. This one has an I-cord, attached I-cord, we call it, on both sides. And I wanted to talk about I-cord for a second. I-cord makes a beautiful finish on an edge. You can see that on this little scarf. And it's really very easy to do. Basically, on these scarves, you are knitting across the row, and you are then slipping the last 3 stitches. I started a second one in a heavier weight yarn, and I worked across the row, and I want to show you what that means. I'm on a purl row, and this is correct to you. So I'm knitting backwards. You get to the last 3 stitches, and it doesn't matter whether you're on a right side or wrong side row. When you get to the last 3 stitches, you keep the yarn in front and you slip those 3 stitches purlwise. Now you can see the yarn is actually coming from this stitch, not from this stitch. It's not at the end of the row. You then turn around and you begin the row by knitting those 3 stitches. And the thing that you want to be careful about is in this knitting that you do not pull the yarn tightly, because that yarn is coming from stitch number 4 all the way across to stitch number 1. And if you pull that tightly, you're going to get a very, very firm edge, almost too short. So the danger zone in I-cord is that when you start the knit side, that you pull the yarn too tightly. Knit that first stitch, and then I always stretch it out. And that gives you that extra that you need to keep that I-cord from becoming too tight along the edge. Because a too tight I-cord on both sides, which this one has, is going to mean that you won't be able to stretch it out. It'll feel like it's resisting you. So that's tip number 1. The other thing that the pattern tells you to do is to put a marker on the right side row. Now, once this pattern is established, you won't have that hard of a time. You won't necessarily need that marker because you clearly have, especially when you hit the stockinette stitch areas, you clearly have a knit side and a purl side. But I wanted to point out that we have these adorable Katrinkles markers that are for right side and for wrong side rows. So sometimes if you just put one of these pins in, your knitting, it can fall through to the other side, or you get further and further away. So these little right side, wrong side rows let you clearly identify which is the right side and which is the wrong side. And I would use them. Because the other thing that I knit this weekend was the the holo bandana. Holo. This.
Rosemary and Shelley love that scarf. They say it's like a good sampler.
It's a very nice sampler. So this is the holo scarf, and it is from Earth Yarns. It uses one skein of that brand new Artesia, which is the cotton and bamboo blend. Isn't that a gorgeous color? And actually, I had plenty of yarn. I didn't actually look at what I had left because it was in one of the little A Danny bags that we have, and I just didn't bother to look and see what I had left. But I didn't run out of yarn, and I knit it in the natural color. Isn't that great? But this little piece also has I-cord at each end. And this is a garter stitch all the way with no identifying marks as far as what's the right side and what's the wrong side. And the thing is, you are only increasing or decreasing at one edge on the right side row. And so you need to be sure that you're always increasing or decreasing on that edge. Otherwise, you don't get this straight line and you don't get the shape there. So when I was knitting this, I had that right side row marker on the side that I was increasing on, and I moved it up constantly to do it. Now you might think that those holes are simple yarn over holes.
Cool.
They are not. They are a special stitch, and it's a really fun stitch to do once you get it. You start by knitting 2 together, put that stitch back on the left hand needle, you pull 4 stitches over, like you were binding off backwards. So 4 stitches from the left hand needle come over that the first stitch that's on the needle. Then you do a yarn over and you knit that stitch again. You've then made the bottom of the hole. You go do that across the whole row, and then on the next row, when you come to that yarn over that you did, 1 yarn over, you knit and yarn over, knit and yarn over, and knit into that stitch. And that creates the top of the hole, and that's why you get these beautiful, big, consistent size holes. When I first saw this pattern, I will confess, I did not think it was so great. I didn't think it was that pretty. But I was determined to knit it again, or to knit it, and see just what was happening. And again, the I-cord edge on each side is a little bit firmer than the garter stitch. Where's my end?
I'm sorry.
I've lost it.
It flipped.
Here, it's upside down.
Has it been blocked?
And actually it has. I steam blocked it. I didn't wet block it. But you can see how that I-cord doesn't really point. It doesn't really have a sharp point. That's the function. I mean, that's just the physics of I-cord.
Yeah.
Even though I blocked it as much as I could, it doesn't really point the way I wanted it to. And I think maybe that's what I thought. But this is how I want to wear this. I'm going to wear this. Look at all these amazing holes. And look at this end. That fits right through one of those holes. Just like that.
That's cool.
How's that look?
It looks really
Kate's
good.
gonna fashion fit me a
Looks
bit.
really good. But whenever I have this flip, I never give up. When I put it on, I just say, hello,
Yes.
you want to be right there.
Exactly. Thank you. Another really easy, fun, quick project. Again, I started this on Saturday and I finished it last night. And I worked and I cleaned and I packed and I did a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So it's not a lot of hours. Like I said, it's 1 skein of the cotton bamboo and it is on a size 6 needle in garter stitch. And when you do this, the same thing. Keep those I-cord edges loose. Remember, you go to the end of the row, you bring the yarn to the front, you slip those last 3 stitches purlwise, turn around and knit them, and you're making I-cord, which, if you didn't know, is Elizabeth Zimmerman's abbreviation for idiot cord.
Why?
Because it's so simple. So easy to do. That would make a wonderful spring project, a fun little gift idea for somebody. And you know what? We've got graduations and reunion coming up in a couple of weeks. What a fun little thing to do while you're sitting there waiting for your graduate's name to be called, right?
Yeah.
All right. New sock yarn. We only got 2 colors of this in, but this is called Summer Socks from Lane de Nord, and it is a 88% cotton, 12% nylon for strength, and coming in some really fun striping modes. Look at that pattern. This is just a basic sock pattern, and like I said, we got 2 colors, that nice bright one and this green one. It's only $26 for the skein, and it is 372 yards, so just enough to make a decent pair of summer socks. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. And then we got in new colors of the luxury silk. I love this yarn, and I will confess I have not yet knit with it, but we finally got the color in that I wanted to use for a model, which is this one. This is one of the new colors. This is 100% silk, and I feel like it's like it should be silk. It's not silk noir. It's silk Noir, I think, something like that. It has that nubbly texture to it. It's not slick.
Seta? They call it webbing.
Yeah, because it looks like a tape. It feels so luxurious. They certainly have the name correct. But this is the new color. The off-white is now in stock, and the black is now in stock as well. And this khaki colored. I mean, aren't those great silk colors? I am going to make a sample for the store, just something really simple, a basic boxy kind of cropped with sleeves, pull on, throw on. It's probably the better term.
Right,
and
so
then,
I'm watching from Michigan.
wow, we're really getting out there. And these are the colors that we had in stock to begin with. This has pretty decent yardage as well. Well, for what it is, it's 148 yards. And they are saying that anywhere from 21 to 23 stitches per inch is what they think looks best. I want to play with it a little bit because I have a feeling that in order to really show the tape, we could probably push this to more like 20 to 22 stitches per 4 inches. So I'm going to be working on that. Then I wanted to give you an update on 2 things. Last week I talked about the sweater that I had knit in Anchor Bay, which is this one, and we had a big kind of discussion about what buttons to put on. As you can see, I put on the big flat purple buttons, and I think they look fantastic. I really love what it does for the sweater. They stand out without being a big statement to it, so I think that we made the right choice.
I think Jen Gerhardsen asked about this. Is there enough to make a scarf?
In one skein,
Yeah, answer that for Jen Gerhardsen.
at 148 yards, you won't quite be able to make something this big. You would need 2 skeins of this, I think, to do something in the Casa Pinka range that you can wrap around twice, because you can also wear this just once like that. Just depends on how hot or cold you're running. But I think you would need 2 of the silk. And that's a great idea, Jen, because that would really be luxury around your neck. Good suggestion. Just want to make sure that I'm up to the right point. You did.
Stuff.
Okay. New sock yarn, luxury, the Indian, the buttons on the Anchor Bay. Okay. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is an update on my scrap sweater. When 52 weeks came in, I fell in love with this book. And I told you that I felt like it was more of a stash book than a real scrap book. But I was ready to start knitting something. I gathered my scraps, some of my collection, and I think I even showed it to you guys in a little basket of what I was going to use. And I started to knit with it, and this often happens. The knitting, what was happening drove me to the pattern instead of my choosing the pattern first. And this is the sweater that I began to make. Now they show it in 1, 2, 3, like 4 combinations. It's very balanced. It's very all the same. Okay. The sleeves match the body kind of thing. That's what I think is more of a skein stash than scrap. But the inspiration is there and the directions are here. And it's a very easy knit. It is top down, and it's one of those fun ones where you start with the back yoke, knit that to the underarm, and then make both fronts and join it and do the body down. Well, I want to show you what I have started. not only started, but I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. And here's what I've done. I have one sleeve to go, and I did do the fronts and the backs and saved some of the yarn. So the fronts are not exactly the same as the back, but they're close. So this is some of the anchor bay that's left over. I used a lace weight mohair through the whole thing, but different colors. I found a little skein of an off-white mohair that I mixed in there. I have some very pale pink mohair that wasn't a full skein that I mixed in there, but there is a strand of mohair through the whole thing. Sometimes it's just a strand of fingering weight or up to DK with a strand of mohair. In one section, I ended up having to use 3 strands of yarn together. This was almost a lace weight with 2 mohairs. And when I got to the bottom, and I will tell you this, there was a color, it was kind of peachy with a mohair that I loved, and I tried to make it work, but the peach color just did not work. I ripped it out 3 times because I kept thinking, well, maybe it'll work now, until I finally threw it away. Not throw it away, but said no, not here. But when I got to the bottom of this, I was using this color, and I was afraid because I thought, well, if that peach darkened it up, maybe this will be too dark. But because it's in that pink purple range, it worked. And I had just a little bit of this stuff left, and I thought, I'm going for it because it's still really pink, but in a whole different temperature than the rest of the sweater. But I love it. I love that fire at the bottom of the sweater.
Jen says it's beautiful.
It's going to be great. So I can't wait to do the other sleeve. And like I said, I've saved the yarn. It may not be exactly like this because I may have to add stuff to it to make the length come out right. But I'm really, really inspired. So while I was going through my stash of scraps and skeins, of course, immediately I began to put together families of color and texture and what other kinds of scrap yarns do I want to do another sweater with. There are so many inspirational patterns in here. It doesn't have to be any single one, but in typical Lane fashion, they are so well written that there wasn't a single thing wrong with that pattern so far. I'm not done with it, but so far there hasn't been anything wrong. There are just great kind of designs, simple, straightforward, everyday wear that you can make your own and really stand out in. So, Kate told me, and I think I probably just trashed this email before I really looked at it, but she told me that Lane Magazine is doing a 52-week scrap yarn knit along.
They're calling it a scrap-along.
Scrap-along. And did you say they actually have a sign-up or they don't have a sign-up? It's just a post.
It's just the hashtag and the ad and the post.
So if their scrap-along started on May 2nd and is basically running through October 31st. And what they are saying is if you are interested in doing anything from the 52 weeks of scrap, then please post about it on Instagram using the hashtag Lane Scrap-along and what was the other one?
Tagging them.
Oh, and tagging Lane_magazine. And they want to see pictures from every single stage. So from the beginning, when you just gather your yarn, to the casting on, to the first 3 inches, however often you want to post to it. And they're going to be giving away prizes. I don't know how often. I don't think it said that. But that doesn't matter because they're giving away prizes. And I'm going to send a picture of this in because I want to join. if I do happen to win anything, I will give that away as a little promotion here on the at the store, because we are going to invite whoever wants to come to do a scrap along here at the store on May 28th. That's a Wednesday from 1 to 3. If you want to participate, it will cost you $10 to come. Come with a basket or a bag of the scraps from your collection that you've put together, and Kate and I will help you figure out how much yarn you have with between the figuring out the yardage and the weight and what you can make with it, and help you decide on one of the patterns from the 52 weeks scrap book.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna pick a winner once a month.
Once a month. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6 winners.
But in May and June, there's 2 special prizes.
Ooh, 2 special prizes. All right. So think about it. Look at what you've got. You can on Ravelry type in the pattern search 52 weeks of scrap yarn, and all of the patterns that are in the book will come up. You can't buy them yet because they need you to buy the book, but you can see what kinds of things are in the book and maybe what kinds of things you want to do with the yarn that you have. And we'll have a big party here on May 28th and help you get going with it. And during that time, we'll try to figure out how often, if you want to continue to meet over the summer, maybe once a month, just to catch up and see how everybody's doing and show off what you're doing. But we'll decide that on May 28th. So mark your calendars, May 28th from 1 to 3. We're not going to put it as a register thing, just kind of show up. Cost you $10, and we'll help you do what you need to do to figure out if you can make something out of what you have.
I'm so excited.
Or what you might need to add to it, because you always need to add something.
This is like, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but it's like the nerd in me is so excited about this day.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's really going to be fun. And you'll get to see what will be my next project as well. Okay, let's see. That, I think, is everything I had on my list. So we will be open the rest of this week, our regular hours, Wednesday through Saturday from 10 to 5. I am off and running to H&H in Chicago on Wednesday with Eileen. I can't wait, Eileen. We're going to have so much fun and get so much work done. We are looking for what kinds of things we want to carry here in the fall. We will be looking at American made as much as possible, but not to exclude some of the really wonderful yarns that we've been carrying from our other companies as well. I will be posting some lives from the shows, just kind of short, sweet things to help you see what I see while we're there. And I will be back in the store on the 10th on Saturday if you want to see me then. In the meantime, Kate will be here to help you with your knitting or your problems or your purchases. And don't forget to tell her your name or email so that she can put your purchases in your records. In the meantime, the rain has seemed to let up minutely. It's still raining, which means that you have lots of time now to go knit something. Bye.